What's good? What's poppin'? What's happening with you all? It's your boy Gold Phoenix on the road, and yes, we out here moving another load. Listen up, listen up. I'm on Interstate 80 West in Nevada. You know what I'm saying? I've been all over the place lately. Last few loads, straight multi-stops, some same-day deliveries for all of them. I had, let's see, I picked up a load out of Seattle, had 2 drops in Minneapolis. Then I went down there to Indianapolis, grabbed a load out of there, had 3 drops in Chicago. Then I went back to Indianapolis, grabbed this load. I got 2 drops in California, 1 in Sacramento, the next one in Oakland. And I'm just running. You know what I'm saying? My student, he is almost complete with his mileage. The amount of miles he has to do with me. After this load, he'll have 10,000 left. So that ain't nothing but about 2, maybe 2.5 weeks, depending on how things go. I'm very, very pleased with his performance and the growth, and seeing, you know, from the first time he got on my truck to how much he's learned, to how much he's improved, you know, how well I'm able to sleep while he's driving. I thoroughly believe that when he gets off of my truck and he goes on his own, when he's solo and he has his own thing going on, 1, he's gonna be successful. 2, ain't nobody outrunning him. That's a fact. Y'all are not outrunning my students, bro. I set out with a goal, bro. When I start something, I try to be the best at it. I'm gonna be the best trainer. Like, that's just that, you know what I'm saying? All of my students are gonna do well. That I've ordained it. That has to happen. I'm going to make sure of it. I'm not going to be putting out no crappy drivers. And I'm happy to know that I don't suck at it. But anyway, that is not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to discuss these rates and the fuel costs, and really just get a general idea of how you guys are faring. I know I have like a decent mix of people who follow me. Some of you guys are owner operators, some of you guys are lease operators like myself, some of you guys are company drivers. But what I want to know is just how well is everybody doing? Like, are you guys faring okay? These rates, you know, the rates that I'm looking at have been relatively consistent, but at the same time, I run contracted free. So I know it's not like that for everybody. Some of you guys are like on the spot market. What's the spot market looking like for real? Because I've been hearing all kinds of different things. Some people are saying rates are great. I guess they might be running some special sauce that they're not telling nobody about. Other people are saying the spot market is trash. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is on my side of things, the rates themselves have been consistent, but the fuel surcharges have gone up. And so even though I'm grossing more than I normally would, I'm still profiting about the same, which tells me that we're in a recession. That's what that tells me, because if I have to generate more money to make the same profits, all that really means is that everything is more expensive for everybody. Whether it comes to like grocery shopping, we know fuel is up there. You know, everything is going up. That's what that tells me. And I want to know if that experience that I'm having is the same amongst others, or am I the only person noticing that? I don't know. I don't know. But I'll share with you guys how I've been managing to fare pretty good in this, I guess you could say, economic climate. And basically, what I've been doing, like I just said, multi-stop loads. See, I'm not pulling the super crazy type of commodity. I pull a lot of, you know, general freight. I do pull certain high-value stuff I can't talk about. And I do expedited freight, too. There's a lot of stuff that I do. Some of it I just can't talk about, but at the same time, for the most part, a lot of what I've been doing has had multiple deliveries in a short period of time. Like the load I took to Chicago, 3 drops. All those drops were in the same day. Go over here, boom, take a couple pallets, boom, go over there, take a couple pallets, boom, go downtown, take the rest off, sit forever, get another load, get another multi-stop rolling. You know, that's how I've been doing. And the reason I've been, for the most part, sticking to multiple stops is because usually when you have more stops on a load, it is a pain. Don't get it twisted. And sometimes it don't always work out. Sometimes the first delivery take too much time and then you gotta move an appointment or whatever. But for the most part, what I've noticed is that when it comes to these multi-stop loads, they tend to pay more for generally the same distance. So instead of going, I don't know, 2,000 miles for, I don't know, $2 a mile, $2.50 a mile, $3 a mile, I could do, you know, 3 drops in 1,500 miles and get, I don't know, 4 or maybe $5 a mile, something like crazy stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I could do a multi-stop load, 3 drops, 200 miles, and get $1,500, $2,000 out of it, something like that, instead of having to go, I don't know, some of these places are offering $1,200 for 1,500 miles or something like that, some stupid crap. That's just throwing a rough number out there. I probably got that backwards, but you guys get the idea of what it is I'm trying to say. You gotta maximize your payload to a degree. Because like I said in the previous video, the rate that you get more often than not is determined by the commodity that you're pulling. At the same time, what I left out and failed to realize at the time, I was so tired, is that distribution is definitely a part of that. Yes, the commodity you're pulling does play a factor into that, and some people are pulling stuff that is so high value that it don't really matter. This stuff ain't phasing them whatsoever. I know some people that do well. I know some people doing great, which is beautiful, to be honest with you. But if you can pull one commodity distributed amongst 3 different customers, more often than not, you're gonna end up maximizing the revenue out of that one load. You see what I'm saying? But that's just my own opinion. That's been my experience lately. I want to know if anybody else is seeing it the same way, or, you know, maybe if anybody has any extra insight that I might want to take into account. You get what I'm saying? Another thing is, I'm team driving right now. Yes, I'm a trainer, but me and my student, we run as co-drivers, essentially. Yes, I'm the lead seat in this truck. This is my truck, but he's my co-driver at this point. He is not, in my mind, he's no longer a student. He's beyond that point. He's a full-fledged co-driver. He could operate by himself. If I weren't here and he were allowed to drive my truck, you know, my contract doesn't allow that, but if I weren't here and he had to drive my truck or something like that, I have full confidence he'd be okay. You know what I'm saying? So another thing I will let you guys in on is, if you really want to survive this climate, you might want to consider teaming or training to some degree. That's just my opinion. I think you really might want to look into it. See, I was real apprehensive for the first couple of years of driving to become a trainer. And the reason being, one, I got spoiled by being able to park and the truck ain't moving and I could sleep without my clothes on and stuff like that. I got real spoiled by that. But the main thing was that I didn't want to put out crappy drivers, and I felt if I became a teacher too soon, then I would inevitably do a half-assed job at it. You know what I mean? So I waited a couple years before I really decided to do it, and when I did it, you know, I took it seriously. And the fruits of my labor and patience are paying off. So if you guys are in the same type of position as I am, you have one of these carriers that does train and stuff like that, I think that even if you don't do it for the long term, if you do it until this economy, the fuel prices and all this stuff stabilizes, and then you go back solo for all I care, you know, I think that really might be something that you want to consider. Because the main people who are making out well, who are doing okay, or at the very least surviving what is going on, are the people who are team driving to some capacity. You know why? Because when it comes to being a team operator, operated truck versus a solo operated truck, we are a much hotter commodity. When I started training, the company completely changed. I got higher priority with my fleet manager, with the fleet in general, with the loads we get. They're completely different. They pay more. They go different places. You know how long it's been since I've seen this part of Nevada? It's the first time I've been up here in years. The first time I'll be going over Donner's Pass in like 2 years. Just about. It's completely different. The revenue looked different. Yeah, I had like payroll expenses and stuff because I had to pay my student, but at the same time, who cares, right? Take it into consideration. That's just my own opinion. I'm going to continue down this I-80 and enjoy the drive. This is pretty out here in the desert. This is the coldest desert I can think of, but it's pretty out here. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to hopefully be able to squeeze in another load or two before this week's payroll ends. Even if I don't, I will make out pretty freaking good this week. Now, as I always tell you guys, be happy, stay blessed, do not be afraid to make drastic changes in your life. It might end up being the best decision you ever made. I am Gold Phoenix, and I'm out.